Welcome to our 3-day road trip across the country of Ireland. We're going to visit the country's most famous landmark, kiss a famous stone, and visit one of the country's most popular cities. We've got a lot to see, so we better get moving.
Let's go road tripping!
Okay guys, road trip has started. So if you didn't know, Ireland is made up of different counties. So kind of similar to Australia where we have states, Ireland is made up of counties. So we have been staying in County Dublin and we are currently driving through County Lahinch, I think it is pronounced, on our way to County Cork. So it's about 2.5 to 3 hour drive from where we were in Dublin, and we're going through some crazy fog. We've heard the fog through summer in Dublin has been pretty crazy, or in Ireland I should say. It's pretty crazy. I'm glad I'm not the one driving. But the road trip has started. We've got some awesome stuff planned for the next 3 days. I'm not sure where Maps is taking us, but it's taking us through like a forest, and I'm not complaining because it's very beautiful. We clicked no tolls, so I'm not sure if we're going on some like wacky route to get to Cork, but it's just so beautiful. Ireland is so luscious and green, obviously because it rains so much. That is, I guess, the downside of it being so luscious and green, but it's just crazy how beautiful this is. First stop on our Ireland road trip is Blarney Castle. Situated in County Cork, this castle has massive grounds, beautiful gardens, and it's got one of the most iconic activities you can do in Ireland, which is kissing the Blarney Stone, right up there in Blarney Castle. So that has to be our stop number 1. What are you doing? Just warming up.
So we're in line to kiss the stone, and we've just seen above the murder hole where they would pour boiling hot water or tar or oil on people and kill them, which is pretty interesting. Scary, but interesting.
The staircases are so narrow because it made it easier to defend the castle.
The silver falls back on a pool. Victorious! Nobody told us that we'd be going up this high. I'm getting very afraid.
It's so narrow.
The most popular thing to do here at Blarney Castle is to kiss the Blarney Stone. Sounds a bit weird. It is a bit weird. It is the weirdest thing we've ever lined up for over 30 minutes to do.
It's like we're at a theme park.
But you have to do it. It is an experience. Now, the origin or the history of the stone is kind of debated. There are many different theories, such as that Joseph from the Bible used the stone as a pillow. I heard another one where the stone was kind of like the sorting hat in Harry Potter, in that it sorted kings in different directions. But in all the theories, the stone has the same power, which is the gift of the gab. So it said the stone gives you the gift of eloquence, and the saying goes that if a picture tells 1,000 words, one kiss will tell many more. So I'm often struggling for words. I'm not very articulate. But now that I've kissed the stone, I wish I could say the words are just flowing out of me, but this has taken about 6 takes. So maybe it just has a bit of like a warming up period.
We're now wandering through one of the many gardens here at Blarney Castle. This one's a bit different though. It's called the Poison Garden, so it's full of all different poisonous plants, which seems like a risky garden to have at a place where a lot of kids visit. It's pretty cool to have all those sort of poisonous plants in one place. And then the next one over is actually the Carnivorous Garden, so a lot of plants that have a bit of bite to them. The Poison Garden even includes some plants that you might know from Harry Potter, like wolfsbane and mandrake. Pretty cool! Some very delayed congratulations are in order. This tree won Irish Tree of the Year in 2019. What an accomplishment. Now just behind me is the Witch's Kitchen. And now it is believed if you come here early enough in the morning, you might still see some embers lit in the kitchen, because apparently the witches light them the night before. I'm glad we're not here early because I don't need to see that. I don't need to be freaked out like that. Okay, we're now at the wishing steps, and legend has it that the Blarney Witch will grant your wish if you're able to walk down the steps and back up them with your eyes closed. Some even suggest you need to do it backwards, and you can't think of anything else but your wish for the entire time, down and up. I've got a few wishes, you know, wouldn't mind them being granted, so I'm going to give it a go. Rosh will tell me if I'm about to walk into anyone. That was tough. Guys, the Blarney Castle grounds are so big, they're about 60 acres, so plenty to explore. Most people recommend spending about 2 to 3 hours here exploring around. We've got a few more stops today. We've done 2 hours and there's still plenty more that we could see. If you get lucky, the line to kiss the Blarney Stone won't be too long. It was about 30 to 40 minutes for us, but we saw signposts up to 90 minutes. So if you are coming on like a peak tourist day, just be mindful. We've now stopped here at the Witch's Stone. It's not very hard to see why it's called the Witch's Stone. You can clearly see the witch's face in the stone. Now fortunately for visitors to Blarney Castle, she only leaves the stone after nightfall, and she goes to the witch's kitchen, lights her fire to keep her warm at night, and then returns to the stone in the morning. So if you're visiting, don't worry, Blarney Castle closes before dusk. Now entry to Blarney Castle was €20 per adult, so it's a bit steep, but it is a must visit here in Ireland, and you've obviously got to tick kissing the Blarney Stone off your bucket list. We're done at Blarney Castle. It's time to jump back in the car and head to our next spot. We have made it to our next stop, Killarney, which is a town in County Kerry. We have crossed all the counties today, guys. We've gone through 4 or 5 different counties. Rosh has done about 5 or 6 hours of driving, but Killarney is going to be our little stopover for the night. We're staying in these incredible glamping pods. This is the fanciest pod I've ever slept in. It's got a kitchenette, a couch, a little table. We're going to pop into town in a little bit and pick something up for dinner, and then we're hitting the road again tomorrow onto our next stop.
We have made it into the town of Killarney. We were quickly stopped because we found this kind of old-fashioned looking candy shop. It's not old-fashioned on the inside, but the outside looked old-fashioned. And Stace found Wonka bars, which we've never seen before. Thought it was pretty cool. But it's like the town of Killarney is like very what you would expect of a typical Irish town. I can already hear the live music. I'm loving it so far. Souvenirs! Guys, we've seen 2 of these in Killarney. It's a defibrillator in a phone booth. I've never seen it before. It is so cool. It's like an old-fashioned looking phone booth with a defib. I love it. Guys, the host of this accommodation has all of these colourful birds, and she even let me hold one of the massive ones. We're really loving this accommodation. Not only the birds, this tiny little pod does not feel tiny at all. It's actually huge on the inside. The fact that it has an entire couch is unbelievable. So if you're interested in staying here, if you're coming to Killarney, we will link the details to our accommodation down in the description below, because we highly recommend it. Well guys, what a day. We are absolutely exhausted. We're gonna get some beauty sleep because we've got a massive day tomorrow. We are so excited to see more of Ireland. We can't wait for you to join us. I'm gonna get some sleep. Good night. Get up. No. Good morning guys. It is about 7:30 in the morning. We are about to hit the road, but first, coffee.
Guys, it's a little hard to work out what to wear today and yesterday. Yesterday ended up being really hot. It's an absolutely beautiful day here in County Cork. It's actually really hot. It's only a high of 23 degrees I think, but we both wore pants and we were really hot when we were at Blarney Castle. Today's meant to be a high of 26, so you'd think, well obviously you wear shorts, except the moment it's only 10 degrees. So Rosh and I have dressed very differently. I've gone the shorts. I'm just going for it. I'll be cold this morning, don't want to be hot later. Rosh has dressed jeans, hoodie, beanie, complete opposite of me. Guys, we picked up some donuts for breakfast yesterday from Tesco. They look pretty good, but with my coffee, I feel like a cartoon police officer eating donuts and coffee for breakfast. Not complaining though. Guys, we've hit the road again. Day 2 of our big road trip. We are on our way to what is, I'd say, the most famous spot in Ireland, the Cliffs of Moher, made famous by Harry Potter. No, I'm kidding. They were very famous before Harry Potter, but they are in Harry Potter, in The Half-Blood Prince. But we're on our way now. We met our host this morning of our accommodation, and he asked us if we were taking the ferry, and we were like, well, no, we've got a car. And he was like, well, no, maps will take you this really far way around, but you can actually cut off 82 kilometers and have a much prettier, more scenic route if you go a bit more direct and take the ferry across the largest river in Ireland. So we're doing that, which we're pretty excited about. Apparently you then drive along the coast to the Cliffs of Moher, and it's absolutely beautiful, going through all the seaside towns. So we're very excited to do that. Our view otherwise, he said, would have been very plain and boring. It's a nice little tip if you are driving from Killarney to the Cliffs of Moher, head to the ferry. Now you might be wondering why Rosh is doing all the driving, like how is that fair? We drove for so long yesterday. Well, Ireland is the only country, aside from probably the UK, that Rosh will drive in, because it's on the same side of the road as Australia.
My brain can't do opposites, it would be very dangerous.
In Australia, Ireland and UK, Rosh will drive. I'm on duty for the rest. So you saw that I drove in Milos. If you haven't seen that video, we'll link it up here. And if we ever head anywhere else where we might drive, I'll be on duty. Guys, we're on a super windy road at the moment and very green either side. And Rosh has asked if I think this is where they filmed that video. I don't know how to describe the video. It's a video you've probably seen as a kid, because it's very much a kid video where the car is driving through the road for ages and then a jump scare comes up. Come on, you have to have seen it, but she just asked if I think this is where that was filmed. I mean, maybe. We're almost at Tarbert, which is where we are getting the ferry from. I believe we get the ferry to Kilrush, which is about 20 minutes on the ferry. Now, I said it saved you 82 kilometers. I misread, it's actually 85 miles. So that's a lot of petrol that we've saved. And like I said, our host said the views on the drive once you get across the ferry and then you're driving to the Cliffs of Moher are absolutely beautiful, so we can't wait. Okay, we've arrived at the ferry. It's actually going to be €23 for the car for one way, which is what we're doing, which is pretty good. We've saved 85 miles in petrol. We're going to get amazing views on the other side. So far we think it's worth it, but we'll let you know once we cross. We're on the ferry, guys. We're at the very front. Neither of us have been on a car ferry before. We're moving. It's 10 a.m. so ferry is off. So we're now crossing the biggest river in Ireland, the River Shannon. About 20 minutes to the other side, and then we'll be getting off and continuing on our big drive to the Cliffs of Moher. We're on dry land. Land ahoy!
As you can see, we have made it to the coast, and these views are definitely worth the drive. We're now going to go on what I like to call Ireland's version of the Great Ocean Road, driving along the coast until we reach those famous cliffs. Oh my gosh, this is such a good road trip so far. You have to come to Ireland and you have to do a road trip. To be honest, I'm kind of sad that we've only done it for 3 days because there is so much to see and explore.
We are about 20 to 30 minutes away from the Cliffs of Moher, but we've just made a bit of a pit stop here in this seaside town called Lahinch. Absolutely beautiful, and who knew it, people surf in Ireland. There are heaps of people out there surfing, but it's just crazy, the contrast between the ocean and the beach right there and the green mountainsides in the background. It's just so beautiful, and the small town as well is just typical Irish countryside town. We just love Ireland. We made it to the Cliffs of Moher. Yeah. You guys, we have made it to the Cliffs of Moher. It's absolutely beautiful. We have literally the perfect day. It's blue skies here, no rain, it's sunny, it's warm. We couldn't have asked for a better day to hit up the top landmark in Ireland. It's kind of taking my breath away a little bit, and we have gone for a bit of a wander, so there is a bit of a cliff walk. You can go along various different viewpoints. We've gone over to a few different viewpoints and had a look, but this angle is by far the most beautiful angle. And even though the most beautiful views are behind me, there is a field of cows literally just to my other side. So the entry to the Cliffs of Moher was €12 each, so €24 all up, which was cheaper than the Blarney Castle yesterday. There's a massive car park, plenty of space, €12 for adults. It's pretty cool.
And guys, if I'm not mistaken, that cave deep down there by the water is the historical site where Harry and Dumbledore destroyed one of the first Horcruxes. Goosebumps just thinking about it. I will say the Cliffs of Moher are one of the few places I've visited that is like 100% lived up to the hype or even exceeded expectations. It's so pretty. I've heard that often it's full of fog, and even then it's just as beautiful. So if you are coming to Ireland, I know it's a bit of a trek, but you have to come to the Cliffs of Moher. As Stace mentioned, just by the edge of the cliffs there are heaps and heaps of cows, but it's not only cows that call the Cliffs of Moher home. Apparently up to 30,000 birds use the Cliffs of Moher as a breeding site, so it is popular among cows, among avian species and humans, of course. We're at like one part of the lookout here in the Cliffs of Moher section that you can kind of access by the car park, but the Cliffs of Moher actually span across 14k, so it's a long way. There are some cliff walks where you can walk along the edge within this kind of area, as well as outside of the area where they warn you that it's quite dangerous and probably shouldn't go. What I think is really cool, that out of everything we've seen in Europe so far, and obviously if you've watched the video, my mind has been blown by the age of things such as the Pantheon, the Parthenon, Acropolis. This is by far the oldest thing we've ever seen. Millions of years in the making. Wow. Guys, who am I? Dumbledore.
Now there's also a visitor centre here at the Cliffs of Moher, and it's like built into the cliffside. It's crazy.
Guys, about a 20 to 30 minute drive from the Cliffs of Moher, you will find the Burren. Now the Burren is famous for its landscape. It is Ireland's version of the moon. Now if you saw our Milos video, you would have seen that we went to Saracenico Beach, which is also famous for the moon, but it could not look more different to the Burren. Saracenico Beach was a complete chalk white, smooth landscape carved by the waves. The Burren, however, still looks like the moon, but totally different. It's more rocky, rugged. It even has a bit of grass, which I know wouldn't be on the moon, but I like to think of it as the moon if it was currently habitable. So it is definitely, in my opinion, a place you have to come and see for yourself. It is incredible. The views are amazing, especially the ones from above. So it's definitely a place to easily add into your journey along the coast. See, the issue with those kind of shots is that one of us always has to run back and get the camera, and it seems to always be me. I did a bit of research as to why it is so green, and I think it's because the Burren is made mostly out of limestone, and the limestone isn't hard rock. So that allows the water to cut channels through it on the surface, and therefore allows life to grow.
Isn't it amazing how we've seen so many different sides of Ireland? We obviously explored Dublin city in its whole. If you haven't seen that video, we'll link it up here, but the Cliffs of Moher with the beautiful cliff sides, the green grass and paddocks, and then now we're here at the Burren, and it's like rocky with some grass seeping through because it's Ireland, you know, it's got that rainfall, there's grass everywhere. It's just beautiful. But now it's getting late, it's about 4 o'clock. It's time to check out our accommodation for the night. Okay guys, we've just finished checking into our accommodation. We are staying about 40 minutes out of Galway city on this incredible farm We're staying in a private room in a house with this beautiful family, husband and wife with 3 daughters.
I think that this is the biggest bathroom I've ever been in my entire life. Am I interrupting anything?
I'm just in my office doing some work. Absolutely beautiful. It's like a B&B. There's all breakfast there for us in the morning. It's just so serene. It's literally on a farm. We're in the middle of nowhere, but only in Ireland will we have an experience like this. It's absolutely incredible. But now we're on our way to the local pub. It's about 2 miles down the road, he said, to get some dinner. Okay, we have come out for dinner to the Red Gap pub. It is the only pub in this area where we're staying. It was 2 kilometres from our accommodation, and I think the next restaurant was about 12 kilometres away, so it is on its own. We've come here for an Irish pub meal. Now, as we dig into this amazing meal, I have to say a big thank you to one of our subscribers, Römsen. Really hope I pronounced that right. We have a link in our description, which is called Buy Me a Coffee, Buy Us a Coffee, I should say. We do not expect anyone to give us any money. We're doing this because we love doing this, and this is what we've been saving to do. However, Römsen was lovely enough to buy us some coffees through the link in the description, and we're using that money to buy us this amazing pub meal here in Ireland tonight. So a big thank you to Römsen. We're very appreciative for all your support, particularly all your lovely comments on every single video. And to everyone else, like I said, we don't expect you to donate any money or anything like that. Subscribing to the channel, watching our videos and liking them is as good as it gets. So big thank you to Römsen, and we're gonna dig in. Good morning guys, and welcome to our 3rd and final day of our big island road trip. Can't believe it's already come to an end. We've just checked out of our amazing accommodation. Our host was so nice. We had every food option possible for breakfast, snacks, there was Coke, and she even offered to do our laundry yesterday, which was so lovely. It's about 30 to 40 minutes outside of Galway, so if you're looking for somewhere unique to stay that's not in the city, we'll put the link in our description and we absolutely recommend it. But anyways, we've now arrived in Galway, which is one of the most popular cities to visit here in Ireland. We've just parked our car. Hot tip, if you are driving into Galway and looking for somewhere to park, our host recommended this car park on Dyke Street. If you put it into maps, it'll come up as Dyke Street car park, €6.50 for the whole day. So way better rates than you'll get right in the city centre, and we're still not even a kilometre away from all the main attractions, so there's your tip.
Guys, we have come to Ayr Square, which is the heart of Galway. It has a lovely little park, as you can see behind me, as well as this very noticeable brown statue and the Brown family doorway, which is a very old doorway that was moved here to remind everybody of Galway's old architecture. Guys, I didn't know this till now, but Galway, and more specifically T. Dillon and Son, is the home of the clattering. Now, if you don't know what the clattering is, it's a really famous Irish design of a ring, and it has meaning behind it depending on what way you wear it. So the way that I've got it with the hands kind of enclosing the heart into my body and the crown up means that my heart is taken. But if I was single and ready to mingle, just give me one moment. But if I was single and ready to mingle, watch out!
And I'll write your name.
And behind me is the Spanish Arch, which is one of the most recognisable landmarks in Galway. It was built back in 1584, a long time ago, as part of a medieval extension to the town and to protect the quays. So it's been here a very long time, obviously quite run down, but it's definitely one of the top spots to visit here in Galway.
And if you're on a budget like us, right next to the Spanish Arch is the Museum of Galway. Best of all, it is free entry, so you can pop your head in and have a bit of a browse.
We're now wandering through the Latin Quarter, which is probably the most popular area to visit here in Galway. Known for its many Irish pubs with live music, and it's just such a beautiful area with the colourful buildings and the flags overhead.
And if you're looking for a drink in Galway, I would recommend Roisin Dub. We've not drunk or eaten there because it's not open, but the name, like, need I say more? And
And just like that, our 3-day road trip in Ireland has come to an end. We are back in Dublin. It's crazy, we're very sad it's over. We had such a good time and we hope you enjoyed coming along with us. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe to our channel, because in just a few days time we're heading off to our next destination, because we're doing this for 12 months, so we've got plenty more adventures to come. We'll see you in our next video. Bye.